When we look at a piece of art, it's not all that often that we stop and realize how much must have happened leading up to that piece. You know, the past can tell a lot through its failures, experiences, attempts, lessons. These are things that can make all the difference in the world to the next product. And that's what I would like the focus of today's video to be on. Cristiana Puente being an artist currently working on a piece outside of her comfort zone. We'll kind of dive into why that is, her process going through it, the importance of it all. Then we'll take a look at myself. I'm currently working on a little series of my own, and we'll kind of just evaluate and discuss what attempts, failures, experiences, lessons can make to the next piece and to yourself really as an individual. So I won't waste your time anymore. Here's Cristiana Puente, also known as CM Puente Art. I'll leave that Instagram link down below. Really check out her stuff, it's amazing. So I won't waste your time anymore. Okay. Here she is.
So on this rainy day, I am working on a color study for myself, essentially. I usually use a lot of black and white imagery. If you watched Edward's documentary, I'll leave it in the link above. It's linked below, isn't it? You'll see that I usually do black and white work using any sort of ink, so mainly India ink, and I do ink washes. And I hardly ever touch color, but since I have a lot of time now, I really wanted to work with color again. I haven't even touched color since I don't know, it's like my sophomore year of college, almost 3 years ago now. I haven't really sat down and worked with color, and I've never really sat down and worked with acrylic paints before. So I wanted to fully dedicate a piece to it, or at least do a study of it for myself, just to kind of challenge myself, to kind of force myself to learn more and realize that I don't have perfect techniques, or there is so much more that I don't know in this craft of mine. So using color, I tend to struggle creating similar contrast, just like the contrast I get with the black and white. So I feel like that's why I've always hesitated to really fully explore color, mainly because I'm still a pretty young artist, and even though I've been making art for my whole life, I feel like I still get timid sometimes using materials that I'm not fully confident in. But after creating this piece and, you know, looking up technique videos, trying it out, I'm pretty proud of the way it's coming out, and I'm interested to see like what else I could do with color. I would be really open to the idea of experimenting with color in that way. And who knows, like this could be a new start of a series for me. Like, I don't know, maybe I'll call it my color series, who's to say, but yeah, I've really enjoyed it so far, and I think that if I finish this piece and really enjoy it, then like, why not make more?
I'm currently working on a series that I've done before. It's this suffocating rope kind of character. When I did do it before, I leaned into greens in the undertones and midtones for like the shadows and the skin, which I still find very pleasing to look at. That's why I did it at the time too, was because I thought that it would be very pleasing for the eyes. It created a pretty good style for me that I've tend to stick to since then. But this time around, I wanted to give it another shot and lean more into the golds of the ropes. I wanted to see what that would do. I wanted to see if that would change the reaction you get from viewing it. I wanted to see if it would kind of change the character in itself. And I feel like it does. I feel like this was a cool thing to do, and I'm pretty happy with how they came out. But this is something that I want to continue to do. For instance, I've done this Invisible Man technique twice now, and I do still feel like the first time I did it came out better than the second time I did it. But it was worth a shot, you know, and it kept me consistent. I struggle with staying consistent with my work because I either get into the mindset of my idea isn't good enough for the time or the effort, or I do have an idea, it is good, and then when I start the process, I end up nitpicking so hard that I can't finish anything. So forcing myself to start and finish something is really good, just for one, my confidence, if we're gonna be honest, but then two, my ability as a potential filmmaker or a potential photographer. It's keeping me growing, it's keeping me proactive, and I really like that. I get a lot of fulfillment out of seeing a finished product. Continuously doing that, continuously getting myself to start and finish something, that's kept me more consistent recently. So that's something that I'm trying to do more going forward. That's my way of kind of getting a little uncomfortable. I'm not too sure if everything I do is going to be great. I'm not sure if everything I do is even gonna be something I'm happy that I've made, but it definitely will keep me consistent, and it definitely will keep me growing and learning, and that's kind of the goal here for me. And yeah, everybody, I mean, that's just two perspectives for you. Just an idea of what we're currently working on right now. And
Kind of wanted to share, like, when I changed from making art as a hobby to making it something that I wanted to do with my life. And you know, I personally, I grew up around the arts. My parents really encouraged the arts, and they really pushed me to working towards that. And it was really in high school that I started thinking, wow, like, this is something that I really enjoy. This is something that I would love to continue to do. And that's when I decided to go to college for it. And I think that really showed me that I genuinely enjoy this craft, because when you're doing something for so long, it gets frustrating, but then at the end of it, if you think to yourself, it's worth it, then I feel like that's when you kind of know that that's something that either you should pursue or something you can continue to keep doing. Because there were so many times where I was making pieces, or I was spending hours and hours on something to prep for a piece, and during it, sometimes I would get really upset, really frustrated. There's a few times I would even call Edward before we had moved in together, where I was on like the verge of tears, already crying, that I was so frustrated. But then by the end of it, that sense of accomplishment completely overpowered the way I was feeling in the beginning. And I think that that's something that's super important in anything that you find yourself drawn to.
Right, and that's the key, is that this doesn't have to necessarily be just for anything in the creative or arts field. This is something that if you find enjoyment or any kind of fulfillment in any little thing you do, you know, personal growth, it is super important. I think it helps a lot. You know, you not only find ways to pass your time, but you're getting better at something along the way. This is where we look at our processes, our current pieces, our current challenges, you know, consistency. You just want to make sure that it's something you enjoy doing, and even if you're not going to make it a career, you get a little better at it. That's kind of the whole point, you know. So that's where we want to leave you. We hope you enjoyed just taking a little look at what's going on in our world, and find something else for you. Enjoy it, grow, learn. That's all you can do. So, thank you.
Create.